My name is Leslie Williams. I am in San Diego, California, and I'm making this particular video file to illustrate some predictions in reference to this organized stalking, gang stalking bullshit, excuse my language, that's happening towards me in San Diego, California. Now, in order for you to understand the factual realities concerning how organized crime in the system is perpetrating these crimes, hosting them, allowing them, and protecting them, I want you to pay attention to this date, 05/04/2013. By my cell phone, showing you the picture of it in reference to the date and the time. And I'm making a prediction right now that they're gonna, they set up this homeless idiot about 300 feet away from me within 1 week after the last incident occurred towards me at UCSD. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that I'm going to have to say this cleverly and creatively, but for legal purposes. Am I far from UCSD campus? In reference to where I'm hiking at in San Diego, California. And what they do in these expeditions is that they stage events for a target to experience for multiple aspirations in reference to why they're staging them, the motivation behind them, because these implemented tiered protocols of events are designed to happen in a time synchronized way. So for one, the concentrated harassment is not apparent. Like if an incident happened one day and then an incident happened the next day, it would start to become transparent that these things are happening and being maneuvered by a third party. So what they try and do is situate a target, like they'll ban a target from a library at a university as a result of the target literally exposing that they're being gang stalked at the university. And since cyber surveillance is a method of gang stalking, they know it. They know they're being exposed. So what they'll then do is turn around and create an event to make it appear they have a legitimate reason to ban the target from the university, because they don't want their university image tarnished as a result of the gang stalking occurring on their campus by their employees, even at times campus safety employees, students, and other staff members, even members of the Associate Dean's office that I experienced organized gang stalking from. So as a result of experiencing these harassments at that university campus and then exposing them online, cyber surveillance is a method of gang stalking, and they saw it. So they created an event to make it almost impossible, literally almost impossible for me to visit UCSD campus in order to be able to, I can no longer utilize their library services in reference to using their computer, because they staged an event to make it appear that they have a legitimate reason to tell me that I can't come back to the library for a year. Yes, after they were being blogged about and YouTubed about extensively online before that incident occurred. And within 1 week of that occurring, they set up this homeless freak to camp out about 300 feet away from me. And he has walked by me on several occasions out on the sidewalk in the community and engaged in gang stalking towards me. I have caught him on audio file saying gang stalking from a distance, which I'm also experiencing along every single one of my routes everywhere I go. And I've already caught it undeniably on audio file, and some of those audio files have been uploaded to YouTube. Now, so what they do is they try to stage events, okay, through normal appearing reasons and excuses to either drive the target out of town, to drive them from one hiking location or living location to the next. You know, I just got this book in the mail yesterday called The Invisible Crime by another gang stalking target who was covered on Coast to Coast on 2/14/2013. He literally flat out stated in that Coast to Coast interview that he had to move over 6 times because he thought that at first the gang stalking was just concentrated because of the area he was living in. And so as a result, he moved 6 times, and within 1 week of every time he got a new apartment, the gang stalking started again in the same exact way. So if you don't think that they don't stalk you to motel rooms, to apartments, they'll even rent apartments next to you to have you gang stalked. Or they'll solicit current tenants that are already in those apartments concerning the apartment building you just moved into to engage in gang stalking towards you. So if you don't think that they won't stalk you to work, to a library, to any business, to your home, to a campsite, think again. It's all over the internet, and all you have to do is go to Google and type in gang stalking and how they'll rent apartments next to targets. Yeah, how they get businesses on board in these expeditions. Then you'll clearly be able to see that they'll set up a homeless freak or somebody who's pretending to be homeless 300 feet away from a target so they can engage in harassment from a distance, and when this individual walks by me, to engage in organized gang stalking sensitization for me to witness by him, and my bird's here, by him, check him out, I feed him every day, by him when he walks by me. And he has already stolen some property from me. And I already know it was him that did it, because 3 days after I discovered it was stolen, he came and hacked down some bushes 1 foot away from where it was stolen at. And this was done to anchor the association in my mind that he was the one who stole it, by physically putting him literally right next to where it was hidden at and stolen from. Yes. And since he had already engaged in organized gang stalking sensitization methods towards me here at this hiking area and out in the community walking by on the sidewalk, and how I caught him saying gang stalking on audio file, I know for a fact that he's been at least solicited to be in my environment to engage in these behaviors. Now, since organized gang stalking expeditions engage in what is known as staged events, which is literally mentioned even in this book, okay, concerning gang stalking, they're going to use him eventually, him or one of his freaked out friends, or to stage an event here so the police can be called. And they'll even stage the witnesses, or they'll stage the person calling the police by them saying that they heard the event transpiring, and so they got concerned and called the police. Or what they might do is, he's keeping his campsite extremely full of litter all around his area. And some articles have been written in some La Jolla newspapers concerning how the La Jolla community is getting a little bit fed up with how homeless people are leaving trash all over the community. I read it in one of the La Jolla Light newspapers that I got out of one. I got one here somewhere. I read it one time in one of these newspapers that I got right next door to CVS off of Villa La Jolla Plaza, okay, where I've been gang stalked on a feverish scale, monitored and tracked there to be gang stalked, and those harassments have been caught on audio file. So he's keeping this area extremely littered, and it's full of litter, okay? So let's see if that excuse is ever used in reference to why the police are called. Yeah, because, see, what we got to understand here is that in these expeditions, they will try to use normal appearing excuses and normal appearing means to do something towards a target. Now, if they want to evict me from this hiking area, they got to make it look like it's being done through legitimate reasons. Either having him or one of his freaked out freaks that he associates with come here and start an incident towards me, or steal something of mine. Yes, that's how they got the UCSD campus police involved in the things that happened to me, and then they used that as an excuse to try and claim they knew I had videos online concerning them, and that's the reason why they banned me from their library, because the videos were being made in their library about the gang stalking, okay? But they had to produce a way for me to approach them so they can then turn around and say that they knew my videos were online. It was a staged event, okay? It was even predicted by me. So, in a digital audio file before it happened. So they set him up to camp out about 300 feet away from me within a week after that UCSD incident occurred. And he's done nothing but cause trouble towards me. Look in the description of this YouTube video for a YouTube title showing him in my face harassing me here at this hiking area. So what will they do once they create an incident through him? Even possibly the theft of some of my property, trying to provoke me to call the police concerning it so they can come out and evict us both from this area. Because in part, in organized stalking expeditions, their whole goal is to keep a target in the busyness of running to find a new hiking area. It's also done to exhaust them physically, mentally, because they know the truth about what's really happening, because they got that person to engage in gang stalking towards me, so I'll know the truth mentally. It's called anchored physical gestures, sensitization methods that they have deliberately and intentionally told him to do towards me. So I would know the truth in my mind, but cannot prove. And since I already know the San Diego police are involved in these crimes, because a person admitted it to me in a running digital tape recorder on February 20th, 2013, within 45 minutes after I left the San Diego District Attorney's Office, that this individual was put on a corner concerning after I got off a bus. Yeah. And that he literally admitted he was put, and I had a running digital tape recorder attached to my chest, and he admitted he was put on that corner by a San Diego police officer to engage in gang stalking towards me. And that video has been uploaded to YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in "Learning Disabled Woman Catches Another Gang Stalker Admitting Sent to Harass." So they're basically going to use him, or use him to covertly steal some more of my property to try and provoke me to call the police. Yeah, or to try and provoke me to leave in order to save what's left of my property. And this is literally what they're doing. Because their whole goal, see, I'm preparing to go to lawyers and to reach out to professors at a specific separate university I've never been to yet. Okay, and they know it because I've been researching these lawyers and professors on the internet at the law library and at the North University San Diego Public Library, and they know it. So what they're going to do is try and provoke an incident or a normal appearing excuse to either cause me to want to move or to have the police come out and tell us to move, including him keeping his camping area all littered up. So they can say somebody who walked by or jogged by or their car broke down or whatever reason saw all the litter and decided to call the police, including a neighbor close by, because they use normal appearing excuses so plausible deniability can be attached to the actual event that transpires. I've caught him on this digital tape recorder yelling gang stalking from a distance. The same tactic has been caught along all of my routes everywhere I go. How are these people knowing that I'm being gang stalked in order for them to try and say, well, we're only talking about gang stalking around her because we know she's being gang stalked? Bullshit. I've never told anybody in San Diego I'm being gang stalked except the San Diego police and specifically